Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and thank you for the subscriptions. So it's been a while since I recorded my last video, and this time around I thought I should tell you what things have been helping me through my PKD journey after my diagnosis. So in no way am I saying that I figured out my life immediately after my diagnosis. No. So after my diagnosis, the feelings, I was stressed, I was confused, I felt pity upon myself, and I was miserable. Like, for my condition, those are the worst types of feelings to have around you when you're suffering from something like that. The worst kind of feelings to go through when you're suffering from something like that. So for those of you who don't know, I was diagnosed with polycystic kidney disease in 2021, and I finished that year not knowing what to do with myself and how to help myself with the disease. And then months later, I started to calm down and started to think there should be something better to this whole journey, right? And I should be looking for other ways of improving myself, improving my kidneys, improving my health, because only taking medication was not working for me. Only taking the kind of medication I was given was not working for me. It lowered my blood pressure, but of course I had other side effects. My heart palpitations did not stop, and so on. So here's a list of things I started to do, and that have been helping me. I've noticed results. So let's get right into it. One of the things that have been helping me is exercising. Now, I started working out before I was diagnosed because my body didn't feel right, and I had already started seeing the signs of PKD. So I started working out months before I was diagnosed, like 4 months before I was diagnosed, 4 or 5 months before I was diagnosed. So working out has really helped me. When I started working out, I started by using an exercise app, but over time I've known better that to implement other workouts that are helpful for my health. And basically now I know that my lymphatic system is backed up. So I've started implementing workouts like walking, running, jump. I used to jump rope. Instead of running, I used to jump rope because I was very terrible at running. I couldn't really run. After like 100 meters of starting my jog, I would literally be so tired that I didn't have even the will or the energy to go further than that. I remember the first time I started working out, I said I was going to start running, and it didn't work for me. So when you're starting, it's best to start with the simplest exercises and less reps. So for me, working out, I think if I didn't start working out before I was diagnosed, I would have been dead by the time I went to the hospital. The second is I had to quit alcohol. Now, this did not happen immediately after my diagnosis. At the end of 2021, I remember going in for the New Year celebrations. I went out because I just wanted to feel better about myself. So I remember going out with a friend, and I was buying myself alcohol. I was buying for my friend, and I felt the next day, I literally felt terrible. So I thought drinking was going to be one of the worst things I was going to have to live like. I thought I was going to go back and forth with quitting alcohol, but overall it's been the easiest thing for me to do, quitting alcohol. When I look back, I'm like, that was so easy. Literally, I just told myself no and never went back to doing alcohol again. In 2022, around Feb, I asked myself, like, when I go out and drink, I feel pain in my kidneys. And then I told myself, why am I still doing this? There's no need to do this. Because I'd been warned that taking alcohol was not healthy for my kidneys by the doctors. So when I asked myself this question, I was like, there's no need for me to keep doing this. And I quit alcohol. And I remember ever since I quit alcohol, I've never gone back to taking alcohol. It was that easy for me. Very easy. Like, this is one of the things I thought was going to be the hardest, but it ended up being the easiest. And it's one of the things I've never gone back to after I quit it. So after I quit alcohol, I just started to look into what other things I would remove from my diet. And the third one was I had to leave sugar, processed sugar. So with this one, I'm telling you, up to now, I still struggle with that, because processed sugar is like in a lot of things. And sometimes, because I'm hungry, I end up making the bad choices, because I'm surrounded in an environment of where it's easier to make the bad choices compared to living in a healthy environment. I work in a shop. I own a shop. Right now, I work there. I'm the only person selling there. The lady who used to help me left. So it's been something I've been working on. And I thought this was going to be the easier part of this part of quitting sugar was going to be the easier part, but it surprised me how much quitting alcohol became much more easier than quitting processed sugars. Number 4 is fasting. So even before I was diagnosed with PKD, I had been fasting for quite a while, and I would only do that during the Lent season. But after I was diagnosed, I kind of looked into my program, and I was like, do I really need to wait for the Lent season to fast, or is there something else I can do to help myself to fast better, and so on? So I came up with this program of fasting every Thursday. Sometimes I do from morning to sunset, sometimes I do 24 hours, sometimes I do 36 hours. So basically every Thursday I'm fasting, but now the periods vary. So I prefer to do longer hour fasts, because I feel like they have a bigger impact on my body. But even the shorter hour fasts are not bad for me. Sometimes I'm even doing intermittent fast, shorter periods of time fasting. Number 5 is I stopped eating gluten or products that had gluten. Basically for me, that was wheat flour. Where I come from, we are millet growers, and we eat a lot of millet, and I didn't know that millet had gluten in it. It's of recent that I found out that millet had gluten in it. So one thing I started to notice whenever I ate any product of wheat flours, that I became very inflamed. My temperatures would go high. My heart palpitations would go higher. I remember one time I went for a long period without eating bread. My favorite gluten product or wheat product was always chapati. And over the years, I ate a lot of chapatis. So when I fell sick, I kind of cut back on the chapatis I was eating. So sometime later, I started to resume. And I remember one day making chapatis at home. And the next day, I felt so horrible. My kidneys were hurting. I felt my body was not acting right. Things were not working out basically for me, and I felt sick. So from that time, I started to observe my body more. And I noticed that each time I eat anything that has gluten, I have edema in my legs, I have heart palpitations, I have piercing pains in my heart. And whenever I don't do these things, I live perfectly fine. So quitting gluten, basically wheat flour, was one of the best decisions I ever made. But as I told you, I live not in a very healthy environment. I sell in a shop, so I have some of these things around me. So sometimes I go back and make these terrible choices and I regret later. Don't be like me, especially if you don't have these things handy. So for me, sometimes it's because I have them around. It's easier for me to pick them and eat them. But I always try my best. Most of the times I have to avoid them. And I notice that every time I'm very hungry. I get very hungry is when I make these terrible choices. Number 6 is I stopped eating dairy products. Dairy products like milk, yogurt. There's what we call bongo, which is locally made yogurt. And I don't do cheese. I don't know. I've never really liked cheese. Dairy products were easier for me to live because generally I'm not a milk dairy person. But I wish I could say the same thing about meat. Apparently, I cannot say the same thing about meat right now. I know I'm not supposed to be on a meat diet, but I have this addiction to meat. And I find all the possible excuses to include it in my diet. And this is something I shouldn't be doing, especially with the health of my kidneys. So if you have done your research about polycystic kidney disease, the cysts that form on your kidneys are fluid-filled cysts, and these cysts, usually the fluid in this cyst contains a lot of protein. So protein-free diet is the best, is one of the best options for someone who has polycystic kidney disease. And I've been looking forward to a way to start my detox. And I always tell myself I'm going to stop eating meat, but I find a month or 2 months later, I find myself, I go and pick meat and eat. And I kind of regret it. I'm struggling so hard to get out of that habit. I hope before we reach the mid of this year, I will be able to tell you my successful story of leaving meat. I'm really hoping so. So dairy products were easier for me to leave, but the meat I'm still struggling with. I don't know why. Over the months or over the year, I've noticed that it's not the drugs that we have addictions to. It's actually the food that we're addicted to. And food addiction is kind of one of the worst addictions we have as humans. And it's one of the highest causes of diseases in our body. So one time I hope we'll talk about food addiction, because I was so surprised about how it was easy for me to leave alcohol compared to the foods I shouldn't be eating. So as time went by and I started doing my research and I started looking into things and see how I can help myself, how I can help improve my kidneys and so on, I found Yaki Awakened. And this is how I started to introduce more fruits in my diet. And I can't thank him enough for what it has been able to do to me. I've been able to live a healthier life, and I know I should do better. I should do this totally big detox, fruit detox. And I'm only buying time. That's why I'm implementing more fruits in my diet. I'm buying time. Hopefully we'll reach there very soon. So I've implemented fruits like I've always been someone that loves lemon, so it's always been something sometimes there's a way your intuition really will be telling you things and you just don't pay attention. I've always reached out for a lemon, put it in my tea. Like I love tea that has lemon in it. I really enjoy tea like that. I have more lemons, watermelons, more mangoes, what else, tangerine, ginger. Ginger is not a fruit. Not all these fruits are going to work well with your body. I remember adding in oranges, and I realized very fast that my body did not agree well with oranges. My heart beat would go very high each time I took oranges, and I would have these strong heart palpitations and so on. It's like the oranges were raising my sugar levels, and I would have headaches and so on. So one of the fruits I now love are apples. I used not to like apples, but now I've learned to understand that they're helpful for my body, and I really love apples. I really love them. But the problem with green apples, you cannot chew a lot of them. Your teeth kind of go numb after chewing. 2-3, my teeth go numb. More hydrating fruits like cucumber. Now I eat a lot of cucumbers, and I actually like to chew cucumber without anything. Like I just peel it and eat it. So cucumbers, watermelons, I've always loved watermelons. And for number 8, I introduced wild yam. I got wild yam and started to detoxify my kidneys. This was around last year, November, December. And that's the time I realized the biggest amount of weight loss. Ever since I started working out, I've never lost weight that fast. I've never lost weight that quick. And I think I've kept most of the weight off, if not for my bad habits. So, I got wild yam, and I implemented in more herbs like dandelion, herbs like I take cloves, I take soursop leaves, I take quite a number of herbs. So I implemented in more herbs to help me detoxify my body. And really thinking about it now, I've not taken the herbs for a while. So for number 9, I started to pay more attention to my body. I'm telling you, the more you observe your body and listen to your body and hear the things, the signs and the things your body is telling you, the more you're going to be helpful to yourself. So I started to listen to my body, and I started to look into why my body was doing certain things the way it was doing them. And trust me, I cut out a lot of medication. This is when I realized when I ate chapatis, my body didn't like them. When I ate bananas, my body didn't like them. When I eat avocado, now I used to be a big avocado lover, and now I have to literally stop myself from I stopped myself from eating avocado. And my neighbors sometimes ask me, why did you stop loving avocado? I don't really explain it to them that much, but I had to, because my body doesn't accept them so well. What else? Jackfruit. The sugar content in jackfruit doesn't work well with my body, and I don't think I should be eating jackfruits. Whenever I eat jackfruits, I develop this kind of infection in my private area. So the sugar content in jackfruits is so high. I don't know why most times when I eat it, the infection goes straight into my private area. But I've noticed that whenever I eat a lot of jackfruit, that's what happens. So pay more attention to your body. Your body is always going to give you signs. It's always going to tell you what's not working for you and why, and why you should leave it out. Because you'll notice that once you stop doing it, it gets better, and once you do it again, the same thing happens. The patterns are not lying, the signs are not lying to you. Your body is smart, your body knows what to do. Number 10 is I'm still taking hypertension medication. Now, some of you may ask me why I'm still taking hypertension medication. It's because I have not been on this healing diet. I've not been on I've not started my detoxification, and I don't trust myself, especially sometimes how I lure myself into making these bad decisions. I don't trust myself enough not to take the medications, and I tried it some time back, because food to me has a greater addiction than drugs. I've found myself always going back and reaching out for the medication because I can't keep myself. I don't have the proper discipline yet to keep myself away from the things that hurt my body. So for now, I'm still on medication. The bigger goal is to stop taking high blood pressure medication. Do your research. I cannot emphasize this enough. Guys, I'm telling you, do your research. I know when you get diagnosed with such kind of a disease, you go into this panic mode. I was there. Basically, you have this intuition that tells you to do research on it, but at the same time your brain wants to listen to the research, and also the same time your brain doesn't want to listen to it, because with research comes all the bad news and the good news. So the first few months after I was diagnosed, I was looking for specific things. I wasn't looking for good knowledge. So later on, when I really started to research about things to do and so on, that's how I landed on people like Dr. Bobby Price. I always call him Dr. Bobby Prince. I don't know why. People like Yaki Awakened, and quite a number of people. I've also found other people that are also going through similar situations and are detoxifying and so on. So do your research. If you're only going to wait for your doctor to tell you what to do, and you're not going to pay attention to your body and look out for other means to solve your problem, do you think a guy who is seeing, like, especially for us here in Africa, a doctor can be seeing like over 50 people a day, 50 patients a day? Do you think one person is going to be able to give you the kind of attention and look deeper into your issue? Besides that, there are some signs and symptoms we are not telling these people. There are some things, like, even if we told them, they ignore them and look over them, and they don't pay attention to them. So basically, for them, they have been taught in a certain way to look at these things. And if there are options out there, why not look for them? So that's what I started doing. After the doctors I saw told me this, told me that, I was like, there should be another reason. There should be something else to do. There should be something better than what they're telling me. The only thing they told me, there's nothing that can be done about this whole situation apart from taking high blood pressure medications and maybe working out. So, and then having a healthy life. Like, there's a lot that comes in having a healthy life. How about the other things that you later on find out that you're not supposed to be doing, and yet you have been doing them because you didn't know, because of lack of knowledge? So it's always right to look outside. And ever since I was diagnosed with PKD, I feel like this has been my calling. My entire life now makes sense, and I have a calling to heal my family from this disease, and to be exemplary to them, to be exemplary to a lot of people, and heal myself. My body is capable of doing that. After years of whatever I've been through, finally I feel like I know my vision. I know where to head to. I know my direction. Like, it's now very clear. This is the path I should take. So I can't wait to go on this path. I'm already on it, but I'm at the very beginning of my journey, and it has a lot of bumps. It's so bumpy. Trust me, my life has been very bumpy like that, but now I feel like right now it's even more bumpy than it used to be. Whatever I'm going through right now is what is going to put light onto this issue, and because I really want to share my truth and my story, and give someone hope, and see how my failures cannot be your failures, my successes can make you better and encourage you better. I really think this is what I'm called to do. Yeah. And I'm very passionate about going on this journey. So thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.